How's it going, everyone? Welcome to the top 5 most underrated fountains at TNT Fireworks this year. These will all be fountains that just missed the cut for my top 10 list. I figured instead of just doing an honorable mention section, I would make a completely separate video so I could talk more in depth. With that being said, let's get into our first item on the list. We're just going to go from least to most expensive, and we'll start things off with Magic Seashell for $19.99. Let's take a look at it. This one was new for 2023. It starts off with a really nice running sparks effect here, which is present in a lot of TNT's newer fountains. Magic Seashell would have been a strong contender to be on my top 10 list this year, but I wasn't sure if it was going to be available or not since it wasn't on the Fireworks Supercenter website. But now that we got the catalog for this year, which I made an entirely separate video about, it was confirmed that this one would be at the stands. So I had to do it right here, give it some justice by including it in this video. You can see it goes for a pretty long while for the size, and also really nice effects, ending with these gold sprays here and also some pretty solid crackle. Definitely one to consider buying this season. Our next fountain is actually going to be one that's been around for a while, and that is Crazy Bug, which is a price drop fountain this year, down from $34.99 to only $24.99. Let's take a look at the performance. I had this fountain when it first came out. At the time, flying fish was a more rare effect in fountains, especially at TNT, so I was really impressed with it. Even though it's more common nowadays, I think this fountain still holds up. It just gets better as it goes on. Skipping ahead here to the red flying fish, which I think is my favorite part of the fountain. You can also hear the really cool sizzling effect that it makes, which is really unique. I can't really recall a ton of fountains that do that. I cut out about 30 seconds of duration, so this one is a lot longer than being pictured here. Also really strong crackle at the end. Definitely a fountain I've been sleeping on, especially a good value at $25. Third on the list, we have TNT Torch for $34.99. This one is fairly popular, but I still think it doesn't get enough love. Let's take a look at the performance here. The color and effects on this one are absolutely gorgeous, especially at the start here with this nitrocellulose with red, white, blue, green, etc. Very, very nice color. Some of the best you're going to find in a fountain from TNT. Just nice effects all around the board. Yes, it could be $5 to $10 cheaper, but I still think it's worth picking up for how unique and awesome this one is in person. You can also see a nice willow effect here, and then they ended off with some crackle, which honestly, I would have preferred this one to be a silent fountain with just all effects and color, but you know, I enjoy crackle as well, so I can't complain. Fourth on the list, we have Lava Panther for $49.99. This one was new for last year. It was kind of underappreciated because of the price. I still think it is really expensive, but we'll roll the performance here. This one has amazing color. It's similar to Dragon Tears from Phantom, but I would say this one's probably even better. Similar to TNT Torch, I am just a huge fan of the colored nitrocellulose. Most of my favorite fountains have some of it in them. Lava Panther is not one that I would recommend if you're on a budget, say under $300 or somewhere in a similar range. But if you have a larger budget and want some expensive but awesome fountains, this one is definitely worth taking a look at. Real quick, before we get to the last fountain on the list, I have something important to talk about. And no, it's not the unicorn poop in the background. It's the fact that some of you watching still buy TNT's assortments, which if you aren't aware, are a complete ripoff. They are way overpriced, and my suspicion is that TNT fills them with cheap, watered down fireworks to increase their profit margins. So what I'd recommend is to completely avoid assortments and buy individual fireworks instead to put together your show, which I understand for most people is a bit overwhelming and kind of a headache. And that's why in my new budget guide video series, I did the hard work for you. I've made a bunch of these videos where I pick a specific budget and then put together a list of the best fireworks you can buy, which means you don't have to do any of the research. Just click on whatever video fits the dollar amount you'd like to spend and then copy down my list, and bam, you have an awesome 4th of July fireworks show that is way better than an assortment. I'll leave a link to my playlist of these videos in the description below, so make sure to go check them out. And with that all being said, we're back to the list. We'll pick up where we left off and go on to our last fountain, and that is Atomic Salsa for $69.99. We'll roll the performance video. I think this one is so heavily underrated because a lot of people think that it's a rewrap of the Centennial XL, except without some of the beginning effects, which is actually not true at all. The effects on this one are entirely different than Centennial XL. The only thing that's similar is the shape and then the big ending crackle. Other than that, Atomic Salsa is its own fountain and actually has stronger crackle than Centennial XL. I ranked it very highly in my recent video going over all of TNT and Phantom's finale fountains. You can check that out after this one if you're interested. But anyways, I really like Atomic Salsa, especially for the price drop. This one was $85 last year and is now only $70 this year. For a 500 gram fountain of this caliber, that is a pretty good price. And that caps off the list. Thank you for watching all the way through. If you have any other fountains you think should have been on this list, make sure to comment them below. I have lots more content coming on the way, so if you want to see more videos like this, subscribing is always appreciated. I'll see you guys in the next one.